They have new studies that are showing that when you do a lot of weightlifting, you increase your bone density.
Oh yeah.
The bone mass, and it becomes heavier. That's part of what makes you weigh more.
Okay.
It's not just muscle; it's bone.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I had terrible shoulder injuries, which came from heavy weightlifting for years and years. And when I was 50, my shoulder, I had a rotator cuff tear. It took about 5 years. When I was 55, I finally, had been back training, and I popped it again. When I was 60, a third time, I discovered a book by Dr. John Kirsch, an orthopedic surgeon in Wisconsin, who said if you hang from a bar.
You told me this.
And you keep hanging. He explained it to me. I flew to Chicago. We met in Chicago at his daughter's apartment, and then went to a Cubs game. And while we were talking, I said, he was explaining how this subacromial arch does this, and Julius Wolff, the physicist, explains how your bones can get molded with pressure and weight. And as he explained it all, I said to him, let me try to play it back to you, so if I ever have to explain this to people, tell me if this layman thing is correct. He said, okay. And he said, this is correct. If this is your rotator cuff, this is what's called the CA arch, and it's gently curved. And you see how there's space between the two. What happens when you do a lot of dips and heavy bench presses, this becomes hooked, and it impinges on the rotator cuff.
I know exactly what you mean.
So it feels, some people get frozen shoulder, or other people get where it's just, you can't, the old thing when, don't lift weights, you won't be able to comb your hair.
Right.
Well, that's why, because of that.
It's like a door. It's like a doorstop.
Right.
Pretty much.
So he said when you get shoulder surgery, the surgeon goes in and cuts off this bone. They saw it off. And that creates the room. See that?
Yeah, I know.
But if you hang, you gradually straighten out the CA arch, so it becomes curved instead of hooked. And you create the room yourself.
I like that. I remember you told me this a long time ago.
It is absolutely fabulous. The other thing I recommended was the Legacy of Iron books by Brooks Kubik. I don't know if you've read those, but I love those. The stories about John Grimmick and Steve Stanko.
Oh, sure.
And, the original weightlifters and bodybuilders.
They were the best. They don't make them like that anymore.
No.